this video, I will explain a 4-step framework I created, which improved feedback culture in my team by 15%. Gallup's data shows that 80% of employees who received meaningful feedback in the past week are fully engaged. Unfortunately, feedback culture is often just a slogan. In my case, I was too scared of providing biased feedback or providing it in slightly imperfect way, which has stopped me from providing it often enough. Going back to results, right now only 4% of my reports think they don't receive enough feedback. But 2 years ago, that number was at 20. If you want to learn how I improve, please stick around. I knew how important feedback is. I've heard about it since I've become interested in management. I knew about the importance of positive and constructive feedback and the theory how to provide it. So let's go through fundamentals together. The most fundamental principle of feedback is that it should be specific. On top of that, it should focus on objective behavior and not the person itself or their intent. Then it follows with the impact of the given action and finished with the desired outcome. So it's a good advice and makes the feedback really effective. But to make it more relatable, let's go through this example together. So let's assume Mark is consistently late to the stand-up. So we can go like this. Hey, so when you are late to daily stand-ups, everyone who's on a call is waiting for you. Because of it, yesterday I was late to my next meeting. Could you please be on time in future? So the recommended structure is always the same. First, focus on actions and facts, so late to daily stand-ups. If you have more examples, you can give these. Second, outcome, so how it affects others objectively, like I was late to my next meeting. And then ask how it can be changed. So asking Mark in this case to be on time next time. But it's not the end of fundamentals. There are two kinds of feedback, positive and constructive. The positive feedback is to reinforce the desired behavior. For example, people challenging requirements during the refinements. And the constructive is to change the behavior from the one that is not desired to the one which will be more effective. All of this I knew, but somehow I couldn't figure out why I can't enforce the continuous feedback culture within my team, including myself. I knew that I'm not giving enough feedback and because of it, my team does not as well. I knew that I can be better. So the culture I envisioned was an environment where people give themselves feedback all the time on a daily basis, engineers to engineers and to managers, and everyone shares, which makes the whole culture much more effective and allow people to change and improve. PwC says that 60% of employees reported that they would like to receive feedback on a daily or weekly basis, and this number increases to 72% for people under 30. The other amazing stat from Zengler and Folkman's survey shows that 92% of people agree that feedback, if delivered appropriately, is effective on improving performance. But there was a reason why I wasn't doing it, and it was my fault. I was too scared. I was too scared of not being specific enough or not having perfect examples. I am quite assertive and I'm not afraid of confrontation, but I didn't want my feedback to come off as biased or unfair. I think I was too focused on being perfect, and what if people would talk about how biased I was behind my back and I wasn't there to defend myself. All of this went through my head and unfortunately it was stopping me from taking action. So, as a lifelong learner, I forced myself to learn and improve. And I did it by making the improvement plan official with my manager and setting the desired goal as a key result for one of my official objectives. What I will tell you now is the actual framework I've created and used to improve. It's called LACE: Learn, Act, Contextualize, Evaluate. And all of these are equally important, so stick till the end. Step 1. Learn the theory and fundamentals. That is everything I've explained before, so focusing on actions and facts telling about the effect it has on others and reinforcing or suggesting a new behavior. It's not about being nice, but about being specific and constructive. But this whole theory doesn't matter if you don't follow with the next 3 steps. Step 2. Act, even if it's imperfect. Don't follow my example and wait till it's super polished and you have 1 million examples for each behavior. Start, even if it's a feeling you can't really explain, and do it continuously during one-on-ones and after meetings asynchronously. You know, everyone has different preferences on how they want to get and give feedback. So if you are not sure, you can ask, but it's better to give feedback in imperfect way than to keep it for yourself. So giving feedback is like exercising a muscle. Consistency builds strength. But if you just start, it can be perceived in different ways. That's why you need a step 3, which is to contextualize, be vulnerable and provide context in advance. And if you can't make something super objective because it's more of a feeling than an actual established fact, say it at the beginning. State that it's just your perception and it doesn't mean that it's 100% correct or true, but you want to share anyway. Be open about your uncertainties. You don't have to have all the answers. You know, it's like, from my experience, people react amazingly well to this. You can share your thoughts and observations. I found that often I have more of a feedback that is around not doing something enough, rather than highlighting a specific behavior that is harmful or inefficient. I often say, hey, I think if you would be more thorough during refinements, it can benefit the team even more. I have a feeling that only person X is trying to understand the real business needs and no one else is stepping up. I believe that it's blocking you from promotion or growth, etc. It doesn't always allow and follow perfect feedback model, but I found that it works really well because I'm making sure I'm authentic and vulnerable. So this is step 3, but without the last step, you wouldn't be able to tell that it works. That's why you need to evaluate. Evaluate the impacts, how you can tell that you improve if you don't measure that. So we don't want to measure stuff because we will prove to ourselves what we already know, that we are doing a shitty job. But the statement, you know, if you don't track, you don't care, summarizes it all. By tracking, you put your focus on the problem. You can measure as often as you want, but I believe that, you know, once a year is a good cadence. Culture change is gradual and it takes time to show visible effects. Don't be discouraged and just go with it. After you will establish a benchmark, then you can set a realistic objectives for yourself. If you're in a good place, then make sure you won't fall below it. If it should be improved, then obviously make sure you will do that. I got feedback along the way from my reports that they feel that our one-on-ones and feedback culture improved, so I knew I was on the right track. But there is one more crucial insight needed to build efficient teams that I haven't told you about before. Click on this video if you want to learn how to build low stress, high pressure teams and improve efficiency while providing a culture that everyone wants to work in. Thanks, and I will see you next time.